Ho, ho, ho! I'm Festive Corey, and I have too many Christmassy tapes. Okay, Christmas special time. 5th time's the charm. Totally feeling Christmassy this year. No reason not to lean full bore into joy and peace on earth and goodwill to men and all that, right? Actually, can you give me a second? Ooh. Whew. All right. Tiki bar coming in clutch right now. I've been shooting here for like a year, and this is the first time I've thought to do that. Rookie move. Okay, now that it's out of my system, I hope you're all doing as well as can be expected. I love you all, and I'm grateful you tune in to see my silly shenanigans every once in a while. Over the past 5 years, I've done a yearly episode about a piece of Christmas media that means something special to me. And it's always very sincere and very wholesome, spirit of Christmas, joy, and generosity, ho ho ho. This year though, I'm not feeling particularly wholesome or sincere as far as Christmas goes. I've had enough introspection. I need something silly, something frothy, something frivolous to keep my holiday mind off of the chestnuts roasting on the Yuletide dumpster fire. Something cynical in approach, but still weirdly earnest. Something made by a magazine for some reason. Maybe the 80s and 90s were the original pivot to video, huh? I've already covered Redbook's Learning series in an earlier episode, but today's tape was produced by Good Housekeeping, a veritable titan of taste-making from the era where people, read magazines. They were founded in 1885, only took them 100 years to start making VHS tapes. Seems right. Should we bring magazines back? We should bring magazines back. I miss flipping glossy pages and looking at cool graphic design. I miss the weird little perfume samples and the full page ads. The whole experience was a good one. The internet sucks. Return to paper. This review will now be available exclusively as a part of a demo disc attached to Nostalgic Millennial Monthly, available at all Barnes & Noble and at your finer gas stations and grocery stores. Anyway, Good Housekeeping had a bit of a publishing arrangement with Good Times Home Video under its Kids Classics line. They put out a bunch of mid-tier educational videos and sing-along tapes that all feel like rental store and retail filler. The kinds of tapes that would instantaneously be on clearance. Price to move! Better than watching static, at least. And the wonder and joy of these videos was that seemingly nobody was minding the shop. They just wanted something, anything, to shove into that little paper sleeve, which would, frequently, result in unforgivable trash. And, less frequently, result in beautiful, loopy fever dreams. This, dear viewer, thankfully falls into the latter category. So, sit back, try to relax, pour yourself a legendarily stiff eggnog, and enjoy my Christmas gift to you. 1990s Rockin Reindeer Christmas. Before we get started, let's take a look at the box art here. This is fake, right? This looks fake. The plywood spray-painted Christmas tree, the manic, pained expression on the reindeer in the corner that honestly feels too relatable. But mostly the thing that makes this feel the most counterfeit to me is the fact that there's a tiny little Tang ad on the back of the box for no reason. No context, no relation, just buy Tang. Because Christmas and Tang go hand in hand like Christmas and Tang. My brain is broken. We haven't started the video and I'm already in ruins. There's so much rum down here, folks. It's been 5 years. Why haven't I made a Mai Tai or something on the show for the sake of content? We open on some rad Saturday Night Live opening credit saxophone stylings. And the first thing that catches my eye is that the special is directed by Wayne Orr. That name seemed familiar, so I looked it up. Turns out he directed a big chunk of Pee-wee's Playhouse, including the Pee-wee's Christmas special, so even if this thing is a total nightmare, we're still in pretty good hands. Maybe that Mai Tai can wait a bit. We open on a hallmark of these kids' classics / good times videos, the cheapest sets known to mankind. Sets that make rural community theater look Broadway quality in comparison. I put more care and consideration into the decorations for this very Christmas special. Not by much, mind you, but by enough. Is it supposed to look cheap? Is that part of the charm. I want to trust Wayne Orr on this. Don't let me down, Wayne. I'm feeling generous. I'm tempted to call it cheerful and plucky. You can do this. A bunch of folks that feel like college RAs doing the big group "here's what you're not supposed to do in the dorms" sketches they perform for incoming freshmen dance out in what can only be described as old-timey varsity football reindeer uniforms to perform "Up on the Housetop."
Up on the housetop, reindeer paws, out jumps good old Santa Claus, down through the chimney with lots of toys, all for the little ones' Christmas joys. Ho, 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 who would go? Ho, 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 who would go? Up on the housetop, click, click, click.
Oh, yeah, this thing is a jukebox musical, mostly an excuse to deliver Christmas classics directly into your ear holes. The choreography here is fine. There are obviously 2 or 3 real professionals in here, and everybody else is just making do. The whole thing never really outstays its welcome, and we move directly from this song to the broader shape of what passes as our story. We're at the North Pole, it's the night before Christmas, and these are Santa's reindeer. This immediately makes me question their uniform choices. Several of Santa's reindeer have the same first initials, so it's bound to lead to some confusion. Which C is Comet? Which one is Cupid? Anyway, after that big energetic song and dance number, Dasher informs the rest of the reindeer that they have to rest up for tomorrow's big flight. Why he let them engage in such elaborate reindeer games this close to the big day in the first place is beyond me, but these are magic reindeer we're talking about. They're beyond my comprehension. They all crowd into some very cramped stables and hit the, well, I'm assuming they hit the literal hay. Blitzen sneaks his way out of said stables to deliver the first of many, many soliloquies.
I mean, you don't hear people singing about me the way they sing about the other guys. Do you know why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I'm at the back of the pack.
He's tired of being last on the list and wants Santa to rearrange the lineup a bit so that he gets to lead the reindeer team.
This year, I'm making my bid to be out front. A big honcho. The leader of the pack.
His plan to make this happen is naturally convoluted and a little last minute. Also, Blitzen, don't include me in this. I don't want to be a part of your reindeer schemes. You're not affiliated with me. We enter the second cheapest set ever constructed to hear said last-minute plan.
So I figure, why not throw a little Christmas concert for Santa? You know, decorations, a tree, warm, cozy feelings, lots of happy people singing merry songs. And then, when Santa's feeling good and relaxed, I'll spring a little question on him. Santa, I'll say, don't you think this year would be a good idea if we lined up in alphabetical order?
That's the big swing, Blitz? Alphabetical order? Look, if you want a promotion, sometimes you just gotta schedule a meeting. This whole nonchalant schmoozing thing is great for mergers and acquisitions or whatever, but this is a family business. It's a small company. Word travels fast. You gotta do this in private. I will say the boundless theater kid energy from the guy who plays Blitzen is pretty fun though. This is James Murray, a lifelong puppeteer, frequent Muppeteer, and one of the co-creators of Timmy the Tooth, a show I have somehow managed to totally miss in my 5 years of coverage. Add that to the pile with Bible Man, I suppose. Anyway, we've seen him before in an equally unhinged show, The Adventures of Mr. Potato Head. His overconfident solipsism would crater most stories like this, especially considering he never really learns a lesson, spoiler. But there's an odd charm to what he's doing here. He's so deluded we actually want to see him succeed.
Not bad for a guy at the back of the pack, huh?
He puts a cassette tape into a toaster and it makes noise. And then he sings Deck the Halls. This is the level of whimsy we're dealing with here.
Don we now our gay apparel, la 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 la.
Demo mode. He uses his reindeer magic to mildly improve the set decoration, a useful skill for low-budget filmmaking like this, and continues his song and dance as he fills out this sad, empty soundstage. For all this dancing around he's doing, he should be called a Prancer instead. Prancer, huh? This is the biting, sharp-witted comedy you've come to expect from Too Many Tapes. After a long, difficult Christmas decoration spree, Blitzen sits down to watch TV. Or maybe it's an oven that also transmits video. Who knows? Set the temperature to channel 4 and let's watch a Charlie Brown Christmas until it's golden brown and crispy. That being said, this is a rookie move from Blitzen. You put the TV onto a bunch of Christmas specials while you're decorating and it gets you into the spirit. Easy peasy. He flips through a bunch of channels of the same people in different costumes singing dreary covers of O Christmas Tree until he gets the exact right thing he's looking for. Those same people, but dressed in more American-looking holiday gear, singing the same song with a backbeat instead. Blitzen is not very picky. If he was looking for some solid holiday entertainment for his impromptu Christmas party, why not tune in to, say, Trans-Siberian Orchestra? Blow Santa away with a laser light and synthesizer rendition of Carol of the Bells.
Okay, play that low-down funky music.
This is dumb. And fun. I can't hate this. It's an excuse to sing a bunch of upbeat 80s Casio keyboard Christmas songs. If I were an Everything is Terrible guy, this would be a prime footage source for that extremely specific kind of dreamy nightmare they're trying to cultivate. While Blitzen may not be management material, he makes for an excellent and friendly kidnapper as he blurps his way to Anytown, USA to snag these central casting friendly Christmas carolers. It's a really slow blorp, to be fair. If the reindeer are this slow, how is Santa supposed to get to every house in one night? Just because you've got 8 reindeer doesn't mean it's gonna go 8 times as fast. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. It takes him so long to get there that we're forced to watch an empty rocking chair getting pushed by some poor PA directly below frame for like 10 seconds. That's not inertia. That's somebody getting paid minimum wage, so maybe it's career inertia. Speaking of the bare minimum, I love how low rent this holiday neighborhood set is. It's like they didn't even iron the snowy neighborhood backdrop. They're standing way too close to it too, so you can see all of the texture, or more accurately, lack thereof. They're not actually in the snow, they're getting their group portrait at JCPenney. The littlest of the kids, named, naturally, Virginia, recognizes Blitzen and that immediately goes to his head. She introduces him to Lois Young, a name we're supposed to recognize, seeing as Blitzen's heard of her music. I had to do some digging, but it turns out she's a children's songwriter, puppeteer, and entertainer. I listened to some of her music. She's no Raffi, but there's a sort of wholesomely goofy energy there. Blitzen pitches the Christmas concert concept, try saying that 3 times fast, and he blurps everybody back to the adjacent soundstage, North Pole. In a way that parallels how poor and slapdash's plan is, this shot of everyone arriving is so poorly planned and executed that you can see the lights above the top of the set.
You like it? Yeah. Yeah, I did it all myself.
The problem here is no Santa. He promised Santa. You can't magically transport people to a near empty room in a spot you say is the North Pole and then deny them of the big guy. What gives, Blitz? They're gonna get suspicious.
If you sing, he'll come.
Blitzen, this is family programming. He conducts the carolers with some strangely fluid gusto, and Kris Kringle himself stumbles through the door to stunned greetings and one particularly firm beard tug. That can't have been scripted. That looked rough. Don't yank on the moneymaker, kid. And Santa isn't all that pleased either. If a bunch of randos showed up at your house the day before your big work project, you'd be mad too. Blitzen tries his hardest to sell the whole Christmas concert idea to Santa, but it's clear that he's not exactly bought in. Pro tip, surprise events that include extended obligations aren't fun for anyone. I don't care who you are. Give me a chance to RSVP. Gonna need at least 2 weeks to think about if I'm gonna show up or not. Santa, ever the gracious host, tries to let the carolers down gently.
Unfortunately, the elves and I have an awful lot of work to do before tomorrow night, so I'm afraid I'm only going to be able to stay for 1 song.
What a pro. That's how you get out of an obligation like that. The Central Casting Casio Christmas Committee performs a shuffly, manic rendition of Jingle Bells, and Santa politely applauds and tries to usher everybody out. This is a man who knows his boundaries. This is a man who spent millennia working on himself. This is my life goal. Blitzen, though, isn't satisfied with the schmoozing. He guilts Santa into staying for another number as he desperately tries to find a special guest to up the stakes and the sense of obligation. Out in the courtyard, Blitzen pleads with the papier-mâché snowman to talk to him, triggering the wildest thing this special has to offer.
Why, Blitzen, whatever you doing out here?
trying to get your help.
Alert, alert, this is a snowman with a human face alert. Everyone try to remain calm and try to not look directly at it. If you must look, take short glances or it'll wind up in your nightmares. Trust me on this one. Crystal Snowflake, the snow woman, refuses Blitzen's request to perform for Santa. There's a fire in there, see? She'll melt. Blitzen, however, having no regard for his friend's safety and no respect for her personal boundaries, proceeds to browbeat a musical number out of her so aggressively that she morphs into a cowboy-themed human snow woman and marches in to perform a little country ditty for the assembled crowd. And, honestly, it's the best thing in this whole special. It's fantastic.
We'll be laughing with the lizards, 'cause we're tickled to the gizzards at the good old country Christmas.
Okay, maybe I'm grading on a curve here. Fantastic may be too strong a word, but it's certainly charming. And I'm not the only one charmed. Everyone loves her. Christmas loves her. I love her. That being said, she's still a snow woman.
And now, if you'll all be so kind as to excuse me, it's getting a little warm in here for a delicate girl like myself. Bye!
She can't stand the heat, so she gets out of the kitchen. And that's the move, isn't it? Come in, crush it, get your applause, and then hightail it to somewhere that's less crowded and stressful. Crystal Snowflake, wise pile of sentient snow. Blitzen could learn so much from literally any other person in this story. This display has impressed Santa, but Blitzen has fundamentally failed to state his objective here. He has to keep making excuses to keep Santa in this mostly bare soundstage, and those excuses are increasingly desperate and sweaty. If you're shoving cookies into your guests' mouths to keep them from leaving, you're running a pretty lousy party.
Have a cookie. Have 5. In fact, have the whole plate.
While Santa is distracted by cookies and children, Blitzen puts the next plank of his poorly conceived and convoluted plan into action. We now have our next squishy musical number, the titular song of the special, Rockin Reindeer. It's a 50s nostalgia piece, and it's way too crowded in there for it to be anything resembling dynamic, but James Murray is giving it his all.
Rockin' reindeer, rock, rock, rock. Rockin' reindeer, roll, roll, roll. Rockin' reindeer, bring that jingle. Bring that jingle. With a ho, ho, ho. Everybody.
This is Blitzen's big moment. He even drags Santa into the, well, it's not so much a dance number, but I don't want to call it a shimmy number. That's just weird. Wiggle number? Still weird. Dance number it is. Whatever you call it, it's a hit. Santa's impressed, the carolers dig it, and Blitzen's finally about to get his chance to make the case for promotion until...
There's something I've been meaning to talk to you about.
Hi, everybody.
It all just falls apart. Dasher's just better. He's more outgoing, more confident, more magnetic. He's even played by a more famous puppeteer. Not just a guy who co-created Timmy the Tooth, but Timmy the Tooth himself, Kevin Carlson. Everything Blitzen built dissolves into a pile of ash and misplaced hope. He wanders sadly out into the courtyard as Virginia watches on. Blitzen sits on the lone bale of bummer hay and recounts his sad plan to Virginia.
Then I saw how everyone really likes Dasher and how Santa really counts on him. I figured, well, just face it, Blitzen. You're always going to be at the back of the pack.
The child, wise and annoying beyond her years, encourages him not to lose hope and sings an atonal screeching ballad at him.
Holidays are special. We can all shine bright.
Back up. Seriously, we are way too close to her face here. This whole angle is odd and uncomfortable. Her neck is unnaturally turned. She's positioned way in the right of the screen and she's looking so far to the left. Normally, a composition like this could work, establish your position in space and all that, but because of the shape of her hair and the angle and menace of her gaze, it creates an inescapable visual vortex. It's so off-putting.
Holidays are special when you got a friend.
This was a mistake.
Christmas comes for
Yeah, I'm done with this one. Nothing redeemable here. Why is it so hard to write new Christmas songs? Is it a perma-nostalgia thing, or is it that there are so few uncovered bits of sentiment that describe Christmas time? There may be no new thoughts to add to the idea of Christmas at this point.
Gee, I don't know, Virginia. I still think it's gonna take a miracle to make this Christmas dream come true.
Or an incredibly great idea.
You got one?
Back at the soundstage, the carolers wish Santa a Merry Christmas by, naturally, singing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." This is filler. It's all filler, mind you, but this is the filleriest of filler. Mid-song, Virginia whispers something into Santa's ear, and afterward, Dasher blurps them all home. Santa grabs another cookie, and we fade into the following evening as he lines up all the reindeer in the normal order for the big show. Then, the dumbest imaginable thing happens.
All right, everybody. Face front and center. Now, pinwheel to the right. All right, everybody. This year we're traveling a little differently. This year, everybody leads. Now,
We'll get to what just happened, trust me, but, Prancer jumped the line, right?
now Dasher, now Prancer, now Dancer, now Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner, on Blitzen.
How'd he score the promotion? It's Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, and Vixen, not Dasher, Prancer, Dancer, and Vixen. What, did Prancer throw an even cooler all-night Christmas rave for Santa that went on after Blitzen's homespun hoedown? Was that why Santa was so desperate to get out of there? He wanted to sweat it out with the elves under the strobe lights with his candy cane glow sticks and gumdrop pacifier? Regardless though, now they all lead the pack. Chaos strategy. It'll end in tears. We end on the knowledge that Santa Claus is a bad manager. If he's willing to do something this on its face stupid with his reindeer on the most important night of the year, you can only imagine how bad he is with the elves. So yeah, in a way, Blitzen's plan worked. I hope that fills whatever hole exists in his little reindeer soul, and that he learned the true meaning of Christmas and all that. Our story ends, and we're left with the credits over the PA-powered ghost chair. It's not that deep, honestly. Nobody really wanted to do anything other than kill 30 minutes of holiday family time with some cheerful carols and a simple story everybody could follow. So, is it a Christmas classic? Not at all. Is it some forgotten masterpiece? No. Did a bunch of people work really, really hard on this thing? Debatable. But it's fun, it doesn't take itself too seriously, and everybody got paid. That's what most productions should be like. And that's what I hope you have this Christmas. As you're spending time with the people you love, don't try too hard to make every moment count, or add weight or importance to the occasion. Take that inadvertent lesson from Blitzen. If you spend your entire holiday on a project that isn't simple, uncomplicated joy, you may lose out on it entirely. Sometimes it's okay to just have a fun, low-impact Christmas, and that's my gift to you this year. Wait, hold up, there's more here. Something that finally explains that inexplicable Tang logo on the box. There's a full Will Vinton stop-motion advertisement in here. It's not even Christmas themed.
I'm getting great!
I'm getting out of here! Tangland, the taste your mouth can't wait for.
You know, I'm not gonna complain. It's good stop motion. And maybe that was the true meaning of Christmas all along. Corporate synergy.
A crummy commercial?
Hey, don't we usually cut to the credits here? Oh, yeah. I almost forgot. There's this gift waiting for me. One that I gave to myself. Oh, yeah. Time. I started this channel 5 years ago in a world that looked vastly different than it does today. I had been collecting VHS tapes as a source of footage for analog glitch art projects. It was a little obsessive. I was looking for the weird stuff, the forgotten stuff, the stuff that would help me make strange and nightmarish visuals for my glitchy dreams. But then I started watching these things, and I just had to talk about them. So I started a YouTube channel in a lark, inspired by folks like H Bomber Guy, Brutal Moose, Lindsay Ellis, and Patrick Willems, with the desire to really dissect a lot of this old media, but with a sense of fun and gentle mocking. It was a fun little side idea that I was playing with, and then the pandemic hit, and it became an outlet. A means to reach the outside world in a time where I wasn't seeing my friends, my family, or the world around me. So I dived deeper into media and started doing video essays too. It was stressful to balance life and making videos, but with all of that unstructured time, it felt like a gift. Something to focus on that wasn't, depressing. And beautiful things came out of it. I was interviewed for a documentary that will hopefully someday be released. I helped Mississippi Public Television launch their remastered anniversary edition of Tomes and Talismans, and I interviewed and became friends with the director of Time Chasers. Most importantly, I get to have a supportive and wonderful community on YouTube and Patreon that cares about my dumb ramblings and wants to see more. This channel even helped me land a job I really enjoy. It helped me turn a hobby into a career, a very, very time-consuming career. Over the last year, I realized something. I have 2 full-time jobs. I go to work where I write, shoot, and edit video all day, come home, eat dinner, and then write, shoot, and edit video all evening. It's exhausting. And the last few weeks and the prospect of the road ahead sort of sealed the deal for me. The constant dread that came from my self-imposed deadlines, the way I'd move travel and life events around to make sure video shoots happened on time and with enough room to edit, the general low-level exhaustion I feel all the time. YouTuber burnout is such a cliche, but it's because burnout happens so easily and immediately. Scripts are hard to read. You know what? This takes a lot of takes, and I'm gonna tell you, I mess up on these things so frequently. This is totally unscripted, by the way. I'm gonna get back to it, but I'm just gonna make the point here. You get 30 minutes of video, 17 to 30 minutes. That's what I shoot for most of the time. But the shoot here, I turn off the air conditioning in my house, I unplug my refrigerator, I try to get a perfect audio recording and video recording space, and I screw up constantly. So many times. Back to what I was saying. YouTuber burnout is such a cliche because burnout happens so easily in a media ecosystem that's entirely view-driven and solo creator-powered. Video is a time-consuming and frustrating thing to do and to love to do. When everything is a shot in the dark to see if you can find an audience, you're constantly tinkering, rethinking, reconfiguring your work to see if you can get more eyeballs on it. That being said, I'm proud to say I never changed my approach for the sake of views. I love reviewing old media. I love making video essays on films and television that inspire me, even if they're not trending or topical. And I'm genuinely grateful for those of you who like one or both of those passions of mine. But to be honest, I've been having a harder time finding quality tapes to review. Thrift stores stopped carrying them, and eBay prices got overinflated by weirdos like me, and even weirder-os like the VHS grading collector market. And I just can't keep bringing you sequels and series. There are only so many episodes of Gerbert I can talk about before I start repeating myself, and let's be honest, I've been kind of repeating myself. So a few weeks ago, I decided that I need to let the lake refill a little bit. Let nature heal. Over the next year, I plan on reducing my output to fewer experimental releases that cover a wider range of things that excite me. This will also give me more time to do some dream projects of mine, like a video essay on the adventures of Pete and Pete, or a VHS board game review, or even an exploration of old PC games from the 90s and early aughts. I'm thinking like 6 or so videos next year, probably spaced out every couple of months. It'll also let me do some of my side projects again. If you came to me from the glitch art world, I'm really hoping to start producing work under Art of the Glitch again, a project I've let stagnate for way too long. There won't be any explicit VHS reviews next year. I need to find the tapes that are genuinely weird, genuinely upsetting, genuinely worth talking about. Only then will I bring them to you. And if one catches my eye, maybe I give it a review off the normal schedule. That's what all of this is about. Flexibility. Flexibility to make content and flexibility to live my life. Before I go, I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. An enormous thank you to my patrons, from the bottom of my heart. Every single one of you. Amanda Hamilton, Wendy McCoy, Borland Rice, Helen Maringer, Mr. Murderbird, the giant murdering bird, Leah Gelwasser, Cami, Morgan Alexis, IDK, Pokelope, John Cleveland, Matthew Sweetser, Tamika Parker, Monica Bell, Charles Emmerich, Laura McDaniel, Clarissa Littler, Sarragan, Miranda Marchese, and last but not least, Nato Kitsch. You're the reason I keep doing this. The reason I changed my mind the last minute. I was gonna quit. I wrote that version of the script a half dozen times, but every time I got to the section about all of you, I realized I couldn't do it. You're a wonderful, supportive, and unexpected community of cool people who inexplicably care about the words that come out of my mouth. I think about you literally every day, and I'm eternally grateful for you. This isn't goodbye. This isn't even see you later. I'm just clawing back a little bit of life for myself. I hope you stick around, because I'll still be here. And I hope you love what happens next. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and to my patrons and everybody who's stopped by in the last 5 years, all I have to say is, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on Too Many Tapes. That's good rum, actually.